Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the season 1, the brand new season, which is the only season so far, of Disney Plus's original show. I was going to say film. High School Musical, the musical of the series. This is 10 episodes long. This is one of the 4 original shows that Disney Plus launched with way back in November 12th. We had The Mandalorian, which we talked about. That was 8 episodes. You had Encore. You had The World According to Jeff Goldblum. And we have Disney's High School Musical, the musical of the series, right? HSM TMTS. Hashtag HSM TMTS. When they first announced this a while ago, a lot of us were concerned because years ago they were saying, oh yeah, there's going to be a 4th High School Musical. It's going to be a new cast, and there's still going to be this stuff going on at East High, Salt Lake City, which is actually not Salt Lake City. No, wait. It is filmed in Salt Lake City? It's filmed in Utah, right? Oh, okay, yeah. So in the movie High School Musical, which came out January 20th, 2006, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Disney Channel, which was Channel 31 way back in the day because there was only one type of thing. So it took place in New Mexico, but the East High is an actual school, and it is in Utah. So this show takes place at the high school that it was filmed at in Utah. So it's all these kids, from Utah. Obviously, they're actors and actresses from around the country. But when they first announced this, a lot of us were concerned. And why I say that is, when this film first came out, it hit a multitude of generations. And no one expected it to be when the first film came out, no one expected it to be as a powerhouse that it actually was. Kenny Ortega was the director. He is well known for directing Hocus Pocus, 93's Hocus Pocus, which is another Disney property. This soundtrack was at the top of Billboard for, I don't remember, like half a year, 8 months or something like that. #1 spot for 2006 going into 2007. It was insane. I was 15 years old when the movie came out. I turned 16 2 months after the movie came out. I've told this story plenty of times. Friday nights, my brother, we were on a scholarship league. We set up a VHS tape to record the movie, and I don't know if we still have it, but this is how long ago this original film came out, right? We only watched it because I was obsessed with Ashley Tisdale, and because my brother and I would watch Sweet Life of Zack and Cody all the time. Sweet Life came out in 2005, right? So I had to see it because Ashley was in it, and I had to see it because Ashley was in it. And then we're watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, who's this Zack guy? This Zack guy is awesome. He just seems so cool. I've always wanted to be his friend. Everyone has now associated that anytime that there's Zac Efron news, I'm the first one to tell them, which is true. It's always been a thing. I've always wanted to work with him. He just seems like he'd be just such a fun bro. He's got the bro mindset, right? But watching these, 6 main actors of this particular movie just skyrocket career-wise. Everyone was doing music. Everyone was doing this. Everyone was doing this movie. It was incredible to see the fandom involved with this particular project, right? There was a world tour that they, were selling out arena after arena, 90,000 people, 100,000 people in each stadium. It was insane, right? So High School Musical had High School Musical 2, High School Musical 3. Came out in 2007 and 2008, respectively. We were expecting a 4th. Didn't happen. And then when Disney Plus was ruminated, Tim, who is the showrunner of this particular series, brought it to the powers that be, and they approved of it. And it's a Disney take on Glee, basically. Fox's Glee, starring Lea Michele and everyone else and their mother. A Ryan Murphy project. And we were like, okay, that's interesting. A lot of people weren't happy about it when it was announced, but I myself was excited for it. I was very excited for it. I had this shirt for a long time. This shirt is over a decade old. This is actually from 2008. I got this February 2008 when I went to Disney World with my senior class. It was a peer leadership class. It was 20-something of us. We went to Disney World. I needed a High School Musical shirt because there was High School Musical stuff everywhere. So I got this in Hollywood Studios, which back then was called MGM Hollywood Studios. And this is a child's extra large, and it's still It still fits. A little worn, as you can see, but I'm a big fan of High School Musical. I did so many sold out shows of High School Musical at my local theaters, community and regional alike, and on Long Island. And it was just so empowering because it was my first time, being paid as an actor to do something. And there's a difference between doing a school production and doing a production where you get money for, because your game is up. Your game is up. So with doing all these particular types of things, you're in that mindset. You're in that family community mindset. You're with your team. You're with your Wildcats. We're all in this together. All those cliches, right? Got to get our head in the game. Stick to the status quo. The best song in the musical, in the stage musical, is Cellular Fusion, but that's not a thing in this particular show. The kids in this show are doing the student version according to the scripts that I saw that they were holding. But still, when you're doing show after show after show and it's sold out and you get standing ovations every single time that you're doing this, the adrenaline rush is just insane. This sense of accomplishment, and you're on top of the world and nothing can harm you. And then when it's over, you just feel lost and confused. And I remember when we closed our very last show, I was in a depression for so long. I literally wore my costumes to school. I didn't give a flying F. And it was just so strange, that separation, that I'm not going to be doing this again. What's the next show? What's the next project? What's the next gig? What's the next pay? So it was incredible. But ever since then, I've wanted to act. So I would do a bunch of different things, and hopefully within the next year or so, I'll be able to continue on doing certain things. I'll leave it at that. But this project, this property, is a very big thing for me. I grew with this. I learned with this. And for this show to come out, I was excited to see what the next edition would be. So, there's your backstories. Let's talk about the show. Premiered November 12th, right? 2019. 10 episodes long. It went very quick because we're not seeing everything. We're not seeing all rehearsals. In the last 2 episodes, 9 and 10, it's Act 1, Act 2. But we don't see the actual show. We see bits and pieces of the show that they're performing, because remember, this is a TV show showing students in their day-to-day lives and their day-to-day dramas and being dumbasses in high school and stuff. But they're doing rehearsals and things of that nature, right? So we have our main character, Ricky, who's was dating Nene, and then they broke up over the summer. She goes to a musical camp, starts dating EJ, who's a water polo jock at East High, and EJ's cousin's name is Ashlyn, and she's a part of the musical as well. And there's Gina, who keeps moving all the time, and she's currently at East High. And Larry's character's name is Big Red, and Big Red is best friends with Ricky. So they have their own little dynamic. Courtney is best friends of Nene. You have Seb and Carlos flirting, here and there, and then they eventually get together. And there's a lot goes on within these 10 episodes, and the cast and crew did a fantastic job. I mean, Joshua Bassett as Ricky, mind blowing, because of the level of believability. We'll talk about Josh. But I want to give Andres and Caden, two of the featured dancers, massive shout outs, because they were just so perfect in the scenes that they were doing. They were obviously a part of the musical. They were obviously a part of the group. And they were lead dancers, and they did their thing, and they danced in real life. And it was just incredible seeing them. Andres played Ryan in the show, quote unquote. Seb's real name is Joe. So Seb plays Sharpay, and Andres plays Ryan in the musical. And it's fun seeing them dance together. It's fun seeing a gender bend of Sharpay in this. You have Nene's she has 2 moms. She is half Asian herself. She's Asian and Caucasian. And then you have Carlos, who is Latino. You have Courtney as the token African-American girl. You have Gina as another Latina. You have all of these different mixes of kids in this school, and it's very important for diversity. But you also have different sexual orientations in this school, which again is prevalent because that's how the world is now. When you compare it to 2006, when the movie first came out, it was not a thing that was discussed. It was not a thing that was cheered, kind of a thing, which is unfortunate, but it's amazing to see where we are now, 13 years later, that this stuff is celebrated because it's normal. It's normalized. No one questions anything. These kids in the show are so supportive of one another. They literally cheer each other on. They break each other down, but they cheer each other on. They literally pull each other aside and say, "Are you okay? Do you need to talk? What's going on? What can I do to help?" Incredible to see such vocalization and communication of these students, because that's what the high schoolers are doing now. And it's interesting seeing that on a screen because that's what's actually happening. And we can see that and track that through social media. So it's this show is ahead of its time just because of how modern it actually is, without even attempting to be anything but itself. That's the best way to say it. That's truly the best way to say it. Everything is just so normal. And these characters cry, and these characters laugh, and these characters get mad, and these characters do backstabbing things, and they're all just angsty, dumbass teens, and it works because that's what high school is. You've been through high school, right? I've been through high school. That's what high school is. And to see it actually normalized is incredible. So, Josh posted a couple days before the finale aired a video of him crying his eyes out on Twitter. And it just captioned like, this was my reaction after reading episode 9 and 10, and he's just crying for a solid 40-something seconds. Thanking everybody, saying how much he loves everyone, and that you're my guys, this is my team, and like to all of his castmates and the crew and such. And you're watching and you're like, holy shit, like I feel this. Like I feel it. This kid, he's not a kid, he's 19 years old at this point, but he's the same age that Zach was when Zach filmed the very first High School Musical. So Josh plays Ricky, who plays Troy in the show. Does that make sense? Okay. But this is what I'm saying, guys. There's a normalization of this dynamic of this cast and these kids that is just so mind blowing because it's normalized. I know I keep saying that word, but when he's crying in a behind the scenes aspect, you feel it because you know that when he cries on the screen, he feels it, and he cries all the time in this show, and it's normal. These characters cry. That's how they show emotion. They don't hide it. They don't do a man up kind of thing. When they are sad, they express themselves, and it's normalized. I don't know how else to say this. It's normalized. Everything's normalized. It's perfect. The very last scene. Not last scene, but the very moment of Ricky and Nene in the dressing room afterwards, everything that went on, the whole issue was he couldn't say I love you because his parents don't say I love you, and the parents are getting a divorce, and she originally said I love you, and then that's why they broke up, because he couldn't say it back, but he's always loved her, and he expresses his love and cries in the dressing room, and that scene was improvised. This dude is so talented, and the fact that Josh and Olivia, who plays Nene, wrote a song or two. I think it was the two of them together wrote one song for this production, and she herself wrote another song for the production. So to have them be cast as these actors and actresses, right, to play these characters, but to have musical influence in the project, unheard of. I have not seen anything like this before, and I laugh and I cry with these people. I've shed so many tears, and it was funny because as I'm watching this, as I'm crying my eyes out or laughing my ass off, on various aspects of my room, it reminded me to the days of the old school Teen Wolf, the first 3 seasons, because that was that same kind of emotion. You knew that when these actors and actresses laughed and cried that they were doing it for real, and you felt that. And that's what was special about those first 3 seasons of Teen Wolf, because it was authentic. This then had that same sense of authenticity, and I don't know how to stress it enough that this is unlike anything we've ever seen before. A lot of shows are going to start to do this sense of normalization, this sense of authenticity, and I'm so excited for season 2, whenever the hell it comes out. I cannot wait. I need to break out all my East High stuff, because I still have all my East High stuff scattered throughout the room. I gotta find my script, gotta find my hoodie. I don't think I ever had a hat, but I need a hat. I might have to make a hat because all of these things are coming back. And surprisingly, I don't have a wildcat tattoo. I've always wanted one. Everyone's always made fun of me for it. But you know what? The hell with you. What team Wildcats? Yeah. You're my guys. You're my team, right? We're on this together. So I gotta find a spot for it. We're gonna get one eventually. Whew. I'm glad I didn't cry during this review. I've cried way too many times while watching this show on repeat. But it's good to cry. Let the emotions out. Normalize it. You're allowed to share emotions. That's what we do. That's why we cry. To get emotions out. Happy or sad, confused, or, bewildered. Bewildered is this form of confused, but whatever. Did you guys see season 1 of Disney Plus's original series, High School Musical, the series? Are you as obsessed with it as I am? I need to just blast the soundtrack on repeat. It's happening. Oh, also, the Ashlyn and Red dynamic, hilarious. And the fact that they gave Ashlyn a chance to write a song for Miss Darbus, incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right. We're good. We're on this together. Mucho mahalo.